the Sufi sheikhs develop the institution of what's called Pir Mureed. The idea develops that in order to reach the divine secret, you need a guide who can lead you there, and so you have to give bayat to a pir who can then give you the spiritual exercises, and through love for that pir, you can then find your way back to al-haq, to the truth. And that over time becomes institutionalized into Sufi. It gets translated as brotherhoods, but it's inaccurate because women join these things as well, or orders, but Sufi tariqat. The word tariqat means way or path. Lots of words in Islam that mean path, by the way. The Sharia is the path to the water hole, so it's the path to water and life. The tariqat is the path to the center. So all these notions of path, I argue that these institutions become crucial in understanding the history of Islam after the 12th century, because they provide, let's say you're a part of all these orders get named after a particular person who was an important Sufi in the lineage. So there's a person by the name of Abdul Qadir Jilani, who's buried in Iraq. And so if you're a Qadiri, you can go stay at Qadiri khankas, right, all across the Muslim world, because you're all brothers or sisters to the same lineage. And so these institutions become transnational institutions that allow for the passage of knowledge and facilitate travel. Before the Saudis got rid of them, Mecca and Medina, all these orders had headquarters in these places, because when you went on Hajj, you could go and stay in the khanqa that was connected to your Sufi order. And of course, the Wahhabis hate Sufism, so they got rid of it. But these were important institutions that really defined the medieval Muslim world in important ways. So that's what I wanted to say about the Seljuks and the Turks and the rise of the institutions. The next big thing that happens, and this is a huge thing. Time magazine, when the millennium happened, they had that contest to see, who was the most important person in the millennium, the most significant person in the millennium. It's really clear to me who it should have been. It was so obvious. I think they picked Einstein eventually, or Gutenberg. Yeah, no. The most important person in the last 1,000 years was Genghis Khan. No doubt about it. Without Genghis Khan, the entire history of the planet Earth shifts. Genghis Khan, by conquering and connecting most of Eurasia briefly into an empire, transformed everything. And one of the things that happened that people don't talk about, because we think about the Mongols and we think about, again, Marco Polo going to China, and we think of East Asia and Buddhism, is that the Mongol Urdu, the word horde we use, but the word is Urdu. It's where we get the word Urdu for the language of South Asia. Those rulers from the family of Genghis Khan, they converted to Islam and established Turco-Mongol Muslim empires that were the most important political entities in Eurasia for centuries. So without understanding the impact of the Mongol invasion, I think it's impossible to understand the history of the modern world, how we get to the modern world. Briefly to walk through this, Genghis Khan and his descendants conquered a huge area of Eurasia between 1206 and 1300. Hulagu Khan, the ruler of the Golden Horde, conquered Baghdad in 1258, and as I said, lots of people see this as the end of the golden era of Islam, and I say, no, no, no. This was the beginning of a new cultural fluorescence. Amazing new cities, amazing new literary and cultural explosions.